improvements. Okay, we're not going to do proofs today, but we'll start back into it tomorrow. Those substitution, subtraction, addition, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay in our proofs. Just our proofs might get a step or two longer now. Don't worry about them today, though. We got vocabulary to talk about today. Real quickly up here, not in your notes. If I just draw any two lines here, and I draw a third line that intersects those other two at one point each, this line right here, the line that intersects the other two, I call it a transversal. Transversal. So look at your diagram in your packet right now. I got three lines working right now, M, N, and P. Which one do you think classifies as the transversal? The one that intersects two lines at two different points. Let's start with number 3 today. Line P, yep. So the transversal line P. And when I draw that transversal in, everybody see I have 8 angles that are formed. 8. They have special relationships. Let's say over this 3-day weekend, I tell you guys, hey, you know what I did? I redid some of the interior of my house. What did I do where did I do some improvements? Inside of my house, right? So you start seeing some of these vocabulary terms of different angles, and you see the word interior in some of them. That tells you look in between the two lines, right? Anytime I see the word interior, I'm going to look in between the two lines. And then anybody see another word? Exterior. So anytime I see the word exterior, I'm looking at angles outside these lines. There is one vocabulary term where neither word appears, and we'll talk about that one in a second. All right, so let's figure out where these angles are. Alternate interior. You know they're inside, right? Inside, because I see the word interior. Alternate says they're on opposite sides of the transversal. That's what alternate means. Now, I could say 3 and 4, right? 3 and 4, they're inside and opposite sides of the transversal. I already got a name for those, though. From Unit 1 and Unit 2, give me the name. 3 and 4 are, we've talked about them. 11, 3 and 4 are, thank you, linear pairs. So I don't want to call them something different now. They're linear pairs. So if 3 and 4 aren't going to cut it, give me another pair up here you think I'm going to call alternate interior. Yeah.
4 and 5.
4 and 5. All right. So angles 4 and 5. And I'm not going to ask anybody else, but the other pair would be 3 and 6. So those are alternate interior. All right, alternate exterior. Alternate exterior, give me a pair. So you know they're on opposite sides of the transversal and now on the outside of the lines. And I don't want 1 and 2 because we call those linear pairs, right? We call those linear pairs. So give me a pair what you think would be alternate exterior. 4? 8 and 1's good for me. Angle 8 and angle 1. And then also we can go the other pair, which would be 2 and 7. All right, here's the one term that doesn't have alternate or interior or exterior. It just says corresponding. See the 4 angles that were made up here? I want you to slide them down the transversal to the 4 angles at the bottom. Let me know 2 angles that would match up. So take this 4-pack, slide it down onto the bottom 4-pack. Give me 2 angles that would match up. 4 again. 3 and 5. Take this 4-pack, slide it down. 3 would match up with 8. All right, here you go. 3 and 8, everybody. I'm not going to put the rest of them, but what? 2 and 5, 1 and 6, 4 and 7. Corresponding. Those are corresponding angles. They correspond with each other. All right, same side interior. What do you think I'm talking about there? Same side interior. Now, what's the same side? Same side of the transversal. Same side of the transversal. So give me 2 angles that you think would be same side and interior. Here we go. 5.
3 and 5.
3 and 5 work. So do 4 and 6. So we'll start 3 and 5. 4 and 6. All right, let's keep going. Same side exterior. Same side exterior angles. 12.
1 and 7.
1 and 7 work with me. And I'm going to put 2 and 8. And verts, give me a pair of verticals.
2 and 4.
Here we go. 2 and 4 work. Yep. 1 and 3, 6 and 8, 7 and 5. That's from our last 2 units. So 2 and 4. Just want to remind you guys we still have vertical angles up there. All right. That's the first half of the battle today, is me saying, here are 2 angles, name them. Second half, what do I know about them? Okay, what do I know about them? Because see all these different types up here? They're either going to be congruent or they're going to be supplementary, one or the other. So we got to know the name before we walk out the door today, and we got to know if they're congruent or supplementary. So let's talk about that part right now, if they're congruent or supplementary. Well, before anything, we need to have parallel lines. All right, before anything, congruent and supplementary, we need to have parallel lines. Anybody want to go back? I think it was unit 1 we talked about the symbol for parallel. So we don't have to write the word parallel out every time now. We could just write the notation down for it. Anna?
It's a straight line with a...
They're all straight. What do you mean?
I don't know how to describe it.
That's perpendicular.
Oh,
Perpendicular. Yep. Parallel.
sorry.
Charlie.
2 vertical lines.
Vertical lines. There you go.
Looking at their own.
2 vertical lines. Yep, that's perpendicular. So there's the symbol for parallel. Now let me show you how you can mark 2 lines parallel on a diagram. Because remember, when 2 segments are congruent, we put hash marks. If 2 angles are congruent, we put the arc marks. If 2 lines are parallel, we put arrows on those lines that are parallel. So if it is not given to us, you will see this on the diagram instead, that they're parallel. Magic happens now. Magic. If the lines are parallel, first name me 2 alternate interior angles on my new diagram here. Name 2 alternate interior angles for me. 2. 1.
4 and 6.
Okay, everyone. So 4 and 6, if the lines are parallel, any alternate interior angles, like 4 and 6, will be congruent to each other. Congruent. Any alternate interior angles will be congruent. Give me a pair of next one's corresponding. Give me a pair of corresponding. Remember, that's take a 4-pack, move it down. Which ones match up? Give me a pair of corresponding angles on my diagram now. Woo! 1 again.
3 and 6.
3.
Sorry, 3 and 7.
3 and 7. Any pair of corresponding angles, ready everyone, will also be congruent. So alternate interior, corresponding, always congruent. And the other pair that's always congruent, alternate exterior. Give me a pair of alternate exterior up here. 2. Gonna figure that out. 1 again, triples.
1 and 8.
1 and that's same.
1 and 7.
1 and 7. All right. So 1 and 7 are congruent. I feel like all 8 are going to be congruent. No, all 8 are not. Give me a pair of same side interior angles, please, on the diagram. Same side, 13, same side interior.
3 and 6.
3 and 6. Okay, ready? Same side interior, 3 and 6 are not congruent, but they add to 180, making them supplementary. So they're either going to be congruent or they're going to be supplementary. We just got to know which is which. The other pair that are supplementary, same side, exterior. So the same side interiors, and now same side exterior. Give me a pair that's same side exterior. 7?
1 and 8.
1 and 8. Okay, questions? Know what their name is. Know if they're supplementary or congruent. Okay. The same side ones are always supplementary. Same side ones always supplementary. Remember that. All right, let's try some out. Okay, right off the bat, look at your diagram. Everyone see the arrows I put on? I didn't tell you, I didn't write it down that they were parallel. That's how I do it. All right, that's how we're going to do it sometimes. That's how it'll be in the textbook. I'll put the arrows on, they're parallel. All right, angle 1 or 2. I don't care which one you start with. Angle 1 or angle 2. Actually, you know what? Why don't you discuss it in your group? I'll give you about a minute right now. Angle 1 and angle 2. Go ahead and find it. Angle 1 and angle 2. I don't care how you do it. Use some stuff from unit 1 or 2. Angle 1 and angle 2. Previous units can still use it. Let's hear 10. Angle 1 or angle 2. What do you got for me?
Angle 1, 105.
Okay, here we go. Angle 1, which is correct. That's 105. Can I ask how you got to there? How'd you know that was 105? Because it's correct.
It's supplementary.
Okay, so they're linear pairs. All right, so from unit 1, I would write down as my justification, linear pairs are supplementary. There you go. All right, angle 2 now, you're going to have to use a parallel line fact from today. Okay, angle 2, we're going to need a parallel line fact. Okay, so how do we get to angle 2? Let's talk 10 again. Iris, back to you.
75.
Okay, it is 75. Great work. Now, there's a couple different ways you could get there. You could get there from the 75 I gave you or the 105 you just found. Nate, give me some vocabulary term from today about because these two are this type of angles. Go ahead. How'd you know that was 75? Did you use the given angle I gave you, 75, or the 105 that you found?
The 105.
Okay, so that would make these two what type of angles then? Look where they are and where they're located. Inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay, so it's got to be something with interior. Look where the transversal is. Are they on the opposite or the same side?
Same side.
So these are?
Same side.
Same side interior makes them congruent or supplementary? Same side interior. You said it was 105 supplementary. So everyone, here you go. Here's what I need for justification. And I'm being picky because tomorrow we start proofs with these, and this is what's going to go in your reasons column. So that's why I'm being so picky today. Here's what I need. We were given what about the lines? They were? So that's how I'm going to start. Parallel, and use the symbol. Parallel lines. I don't know if you've ever used this before, but an arrow pointed to the right implies. So if I have parallel lines, that implies, Iris, I'm going back to you. What type of angles were these? What'd you call them? Same side interior angles are, back to you, Iris. There you go. So that's what I want in your justification. Parallel lines imply, tell me what type of angles and what you know about them. Okay. Tell me what type of angles you were working with. Did anybody say, I knew that was 75, so that had to be 75 because they're what type instead? Go ahead. Corresponding. So instead I'd write parallel lines imply corresponding angles are not supplementary, but congruent. Okay? So two different ways I could have gotten to that 75. Any issues? We'll still write more justifications today. Don't you worry. Spence.
Didn't they have like a special name for same side?
Sometimes they say consecutive angles. You can use that instead. I like same side interior because it tells you right where they are. All right, number 2. What happens if my diagram doesn't look like the last 2 we've been working with? Do we see the arrows? Okay, so we know we're dealing with parallel lines. We just got to figure out what the relationship is between the angles. All right, so here are my parallel lines. Take a look. Here are my parallel lines. Maybe. Don't even. Oh, there we go. Here are my parallel lines. Doesn't want to work on there. All right, you guys see them. So what would make this then? What's this line then right here, which I can't draw on, obviously. What's this line here, right here then? That's a what? Transversal. So if I'm looking at the right angle here and the angle I marked as 2x, are they inside or outside? Inside. Are they on the same side of the transversal or opposite sides? Look at it, 2x and the 90. Are they on the same side of this transversal or opposite sides? Same. So what are 2x and 90? What type of angles are they? Same side interior, which makes them what? Congruent or supplementary? Supplementary. Everyone see, I identified them. They're inside the parallel line, same side of the transversal. So we can set up this. We can say 2x plus, what's the other angle? 90 equals to 180. Go ahead and solve. 2x equals 90. X equals 45. Justify. Get in this habit. Ready? Parallel lines imply what? What type of angles were we just working with? 13. The 2x and the 90 were what type of angles?
Same side.
Same side interior angles are supplementary. Good. So that's how I found x. Now what about y? Look at the other 2 angles on the other side. Can you identify what type of angles those are? Are they inside or outside? Inside. Now, instead of using this, let's use this line as my transversal, right? So they're inside. Are they on the same side or alternate sides? Same. So again, these are what type of angles then? Y and y minus 50. Let's hear from 6.
Same side.
There you go. So they're going to be supplementary or congruent. 7, supplementary or congruent.
Supplementary.
There you go. So let's set up that equation now. Y plus y minus 50 equals $1.80. And now we can solve for y. See, again, identify the angles. Tell me if they're congruent or supplementary. And you don't have to write the justification again. It's the same one we just used. So. $1.15 for y. All right. So we did found x and y. We justified. Now we got to find the measures of each angle. All right. It's a 3-part question. We found x and y. We justified it. And now we got to find the actual angle measures. So let's plug them back in. 2x angle will be what? 90 degrees right here. This will be 90. I don't know why I can't write on that. What about the Y angle? Buck 15. And then the Y minus 50? 65, yep. So 90, 45, 65. Okay, you and your group work on number 3. See what you got. Actually talk to each other. You see what lines are parallel, right? Find X and Y, and if you get called on, be ready to explain how you got it. Find X and Y. Let's start talking, because there's, again, a bunch of different ways you could get to X and Y. A bunch of different ways. So even if, don't erase your stuff, please. 8, your show, X or Y, you can start.
I said that X was 70 because X and angle 70 are corresponding.
Great, that's a tough one to see. All right, hey, take a look. Watch me do some magic here. It's tough to see that X and 70 are corresponding, but I bet if I get rid of this, we'll get there. Get rid of that line right there. Everyone see right now, X and 70. If I take this 4-pack, slide it down, X and 70 would match up. Okay. Also, here's a quick tip, parallel line tip. Corresponding angles are the only ones where one's exterior and one's interior. Anybody see that? See how I got my line? 70's inside, X is outside. That's the only pair where one will be outside, one will be inside, corresponding. All right. So yes, X and 70 are corresponding. So I would write parallel lines imply corresponding. If you want to abbreviate it, CORR, I'm fine with that. Angles are not supplementary, congruent. Good work, good work, good work. That's awesome stuff right there. I guess this part of the board doesn't want to write. So that's 70. There you go, that's the best I can do. 70. So how do I get to Y? Or maybe you got to Y some other way. Talk to me. I'm here for somebody else. 9.
I added X and 50 and subtracted by 50.
Yep, and what'd you get?
60.
Yep, 180 minus 50 minus 70 gives me 60 degrees. Now, as your reason, I wouldn't put the word supplementary. Anybody remember why? I don't want the word supplementary hanging around. Spence, you remember? Two angles, and I'm talking about 3 here. So please don't use the word supplementary. You can say what? Straight angles equal 180. That's fine. Straight lines equal 180. Straight angles equal 180 degrees. All right, but I would not use the word supplementary again because supplementary is reserved for 2 angles. Great job, guys. Any issues? Hey, did anybody, maybe you didn't get to 60 this way. Did anybody say if that's 50, that's 50 because they're alternate interior, and then do up 180 degrees in a triangle? You could do it that way too. A couple different methods. Anything else on this? All right, let's go. Let's finish this up then. Got 2 more. Same diagram for 4 and 5. All right, same diagram. Everyone look at the givens. What did I tell you about line A, B, and CD? They are parallel. Let's mark it on your diagram. Mark it on your diagram. A, B, C, D, parallel. And let's label our angles so we know what type we're talking about. EGA. Everyone follow it with your index finger if you need to. E to G to A is 2x. G to H to C is 5x minus 54. All right, find x. So we got to identify what type of angles did you just write down. Okay, of all those angles we've talked about today, those 2 are blank. Blank. 7, you know what type they are?
Corresponding.
Great work, great work. Hey, going back to what I just said. See how 2x is outside? and see how 5x minus 54 is inside. Corresponding if you ever get stuck. If one's inside, one's outside, they're corresponding. What do I know about them?
They're congruent.
Yes, they are congruent. So there you go. Here's our equation. God, that's going to, I wonder if it's because of this. How do I get rid of it? Ooh, I'm playing with fire here. Nope. How do I get rid of that? There we go. Yeah, there we go. That was the culprit. And I don't. I'm getting rattled now, Kira. Go ahead, keep going. Maybe I'll catch up. Who knows? Maybe I'll catch up to you guys. There we go. And now I'll solve for x. $18. You all right over there? Good.
Mm.
And then explain. Parallel lines imply corresponding angles. Congruent. Any issues? One more? Okay, let's see if anybody remembers these from our first unit. Same diagram. BGH, everyone see BGH, BGH, and GHD, GHD. So these two right here are in a ratio of 2 to 3. But I don't want to put a 2 here and a 3 here. That doesn't make any sense. Anybody remember what we did with them? In unit 1, if anytime we had numbers in a ratio so we could put them in an equation. Remember, Ann?
Let statements?
We did have let statements, and then we did what we put what with the numbers that were in a ratio. So we had something to solve. Well, first of all, what do we know about these two angles? Let's name them right now. The two angles we're talking about are what type of angles? Let's name them. 11.
Same side interior.
Great job. Same side interior. What do you know about them? Congruent or supplementary? Same side. Same side. Congruent or supplementary? 10. Supplementary. So I'm looking for two angles, like 2 times what plus 3 times what adds up to 180. Because right now, do they add up to 180 being 2 and 3? No. What if I doubled them? 4 and 6. Do they add up to 180? No. Let me triple them. 6 and 9. Do they add up to 180? No, I'm getting tired of this, right? And what did I do here on unit 1? I put what with them in so I could just figure out what do I need to multiply with them. X's. Okay, anytime your numbers are in a ratio, put X's with them. Now we can figure out 2 times what plus 3 times what equals, gives me that 180. What is that? Goes in that 3 times. 36. Needed more than that, though. Don't get burnt. Don't get burnt. X is not always the winner. Part A, find the measure of BGH. So I need to go back, plug it in. And then part B, find the there is no part B. And then find the measure of GHD. Bless you. Plug it back in. What are we looking at? GH would be 72. GHD, 108. What's the last thing we need to do? Justify, right? So parallel lines imply, somebody finish this now. Tell me the type of angles we were working with and what you knew about them. Parallel lines imply what type of angles and what do we know about them? 13?
Same side interior are supplementary.
Perfect. Feel pretty confident. You guys did a nice job there today. Identify the angles and let me know if they're congruent or supplementary. And the same side ones are always supplementary. All right, a couple things before I let you go on to the homework. First thing, notice on the homework, 45, I put in bold. You're going to have to factor tonight. Try it out. If you need help tomorrow, I'll help you out, but try it out. I'm just forewarning you. And what I mean by factor, oh boy, I know we don't have this, so. Remember doing these last year? You need to define two numbers that good talk. Good talk.
Wait.
Good talk. Two numbers that
Add to 2 but multiply to 24.
oh, my man, yeah, boss. Blind squirrel finds an acorn. Yep. There we go. Multiplies to the last one, adds to the middle one, right? Multiplies to the last one, adds to the middle one. So this would be what? 6 and 4 minus 6 plus 4. And then you would tell me x equals what out of this parenthesis? 6. And x equals negative 4 out of that one. Okay. So you're going to have to do that for number 45. Notice where we're going back to. The textbook. We stayed away from it for Unit 2. We're going back to it Unit 3. That means check your answers. Where are the answer keys? Google Classroom. Get back in that habit. All right, get back in that habit. So go ahead. If you're using the online version, use the online version. If not, grab a spare one over here and let's get rocking. I would just keep trying.